Hello everyone, just a quick video. I've got my book set out here because I've got a promotion that's going to be running this week from Tuesday until Saturday. One of my books here, which is this one, The Isle of the Shrine of the Sickening Scarab, is going to be available for free on Amazon as an ebook. It's part of their Kindle promotional program. So if you've got a Kindle and you wanted to have a read of this, it will be available for free from Tuesday until Saturday. So it is a novella. It's pretty decent. It's got some fairly good reviews, not many. It was a review actually that prompted me to do the promotion, because I don't use this site very often, Goodreads. Maybe I should change that. I've never really sort of had a look at it very much. I do pop on there every now and again just to see if I've got any feedback on there, because obviously reviews are super important for an indie writer, well, for any writer really. We've got to have reviews to sort of know, what our audience are after and whether the stuff that we're producing, that we're writing, is any good, basically. So I noticed this review on there by this fellow Aidan. I will put links to this review down below. And he'd given me a wonderful review, 5 stars, about The Isle, and he'd called it a short, engaging tale that combines the timeless elements of classic fantasy with a twist of Lovecraft and the early Gothic. The characters are engaging and the language is particularly well written, being both of another age but completely accessible. A great first read for newcomers to this series. And, I mean, from my perspective, he's hit the nail on the head there, because I think this was the second book I put out, but I do think it's a really good introduction to my characters and to the world. It's quite a short read. Like I say, it's only a novella. It's 100-odd pages, 126, I think it is. But it introduces my main characters. It introduces the world. And all of these stories feature the same characters. And you don't need to read them in any particular order. The order they were published, first was Man of Swords, which came out in 2022. This one, The Isle, came out in 2023. The Girl with the Fire in Her Hair came out in 2024. And then these two, again, novellas, Scriven Corsair and The Harvest of Tears, came out in last year, 2025. So, yeah, it was great. It really cheers you up as an author to get a review like that, and I haven't got a great many reviews on this book. There is one other review that I got on a website called virtualpulp.net, which came out shortly after this book was published. And again, I'll put a link to this down in the video description. So yeah, I got this review on the website virtualpulp.net from a reviewer called Gio. He does have a YouTube. I'll pop a link to that in here as well. But I didn't know this fellow. I just met him on Twitter, and we did correspond a little bit back and forth because he really liked my stories, and he reviewed all of them on this site. All of the reviews of all of these stories are on that site. But he was particularly glowing. At the time, I was kind of getting a little bit discouraged, because I'd put 2 books out and I was working on the third, and I hadn't had a great deal of attention, which is always the difficult part being an indie author. You're always struggling to get people to look at your work and particularly review your work, because, it's a lot of effort. Who's got time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that. So, yeah, he gave me a review, and I'm just going to read a little bit to you here. Again, I will put a link. He put, Mills, that's me, Mills is a true master at carefully choosing every word, every noun, every sentence to elevate his work to a place where few other indie authors can reach. If you like a modern and direct style of written English language with plenty of modern euphemisms, this book is not for you. But if you long for a language that fully matches the world and characters we are presented with, and you care for tradition, ancient myths and authenticity, then this might well be your best pick of 2024. Well, it's 2020, it's 2026 now, but I still think it's a pretty good pick. It's a great story. And then he talks about my characters. He says, Mills is not just satisfied with good prose. Oh no, he also has to indulge his readers with well thought out characters that resonate with each of us individually. You won't find dull characters or dumb villains here. Every player has a story, a vested interest, a strength, and a weakness. By the time we're halfway in, we can't help but feel fully invested in these fellas and their perils. Again, it's the sort of review you long for as an author, you know. So who are the characters? Well, my main character, this fellow here with the blazing red hair, is Roye of Catane, and he is a wandering warrior. He comes from the far north, from a wasteland, the Wildlands as it's known, sometimes called the Frostgrass Wastes, and it's been cursed in a sense by his gods or the powers that be with this thing that his people called the Wenden Want, which is kind of an aggressive wanderlust. He has to wander, he has to roll. And it's a setup for him going from adventure to adventure. There are 6 adventures featuring Roye in this book here, from his very first adventure all the way through to him becoming the hero that he's going to be in these other stories. So he has an arc in this book, but all of the stories are individually written. The way I've approached this is kind of like an 80s TV show, where you have episodic stories, kind of like the A-Team or, the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. Remember that show where Banner was wandering from adventure to adventure from one episode to the next, or The Man from Atlantis, for example. So Roye is very much in that sort of mode. He wanders from place to place. He gets embroiled in things that are going on. And because he has a very strong moral sense, and he's not like Conan in the sense that he's not a thief, he won't tell lies, but he is a classic sword and sorcery hero, I think, or is in that mould. He's kind of more like Aragorn in a sense, in that way, that he's got a very strong moral core, and he will always try to do the right thing. So he is the main character of these stories. He's also in this one. He's in the Scriven Corsair, which the events of this one take place shortly after the events of Man of Swords, and he's in the Girl with the Fire and Hair. He doesn't appear in Harvest of Tears. This is 2 other characters in this one, but these characters do also appear in this book as well. So that it's all kind of interrelated. It is a series, but you don't need to read it in any particular order. They like I say, episodic television was my sort of modus operandi, if you will. And this book, I think, as Aidan said in that review there, is, I think, a really good introduction, because it's quite short, 120 pages. It's got, I think, a really great plot. The idea for this came to me in a dream, and I've talked about this elsewhere, but I had this nightmare of 2 swordsmen fighting on a beach that was just completely covered in crabs. And that's where that whole idea came from, of the island, the scarabs, the crabs. And, this is a pirate adventure in some ways. There's pirates in it. There's dark magic. There's sorceress. There's ancient gods. It's Lovecraftian elements to it as well, because I do love Lovecraft. I love Tolkien, I love Howard, and so all of that sort of melds into this story. Anyway, I've been whittering on. So if you think that this is a book that you might be interested in, it is going to be available as an ebook for free from Tuesday this week until Saturday. So head on over to Amazon, to Kindle, and pick up a free ebook. And if you do read it and enjoy it, and I hope you do, drop me a review, because, as I say, reviews are really so important for us indie writers. We really need feedback like that to let us know that we're on the right track, and what we're doing is reaching people and getting some attention. So and this is the original artwork for the Scriven Corsair here. Which is an absolutely beautiful piece. I'm not sure the watercolour comes out quite strongly on this camera here, but it is a really lovely piece, and it looks great, makes a great cover. And So if you're interested in The Isle, head on over to Amazon and pick up a free copy. And like I say, please leave me a review. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll leave you with the trailer that I made back in the day when this book came out. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.